Hallo, viele Grüße aus Berlin. So, 6 weeks have now been and gone since I arrived here in Germany. I'm now halfway through my internship. Things are going quite well with that. This last week has been quite busy. We've just announced a partnership with the guitar manufacturer Epiphone, and they're going to be sponsoring us for a festival that we're organising for the end of this year, early next year. And so this last week has involved a fair amount of advertisements going out to European media, and it's also been a chance for me to interview a couple of bands as well, which has been quite good fun actually. And yeah, otherwise it's quite scary to think that in just over a month and a half's time I'm going to be flying back to England, and I'm hoping that the torrential weather that I've been hearing about on the U-Bahn news network is improved by then. I've been hearing on my commute to work every day that snow has been quite torrential in England, and streets have been shut down, people are finding it difficult to get to work, and yeah, I hope things improve for you guys back at home, and most of all that people take care on the roads if it's really that bad. I have tried with some limited success to incorporate a musical element into my weekends off, and one of the highlights for me over the past fortnight was going to visit a museum near Potsdamer Platz, which is dedicated entirely to musical instruments, and it's basically a 3-floor exhibition giving a teleological account of the evolution of various musical instruments from the 16th century to the present day. So we have the evolution of keyboard instruments, of woodwind instruments, of string instruments. So particular points of interest for me were the evolution of the oboe through the ages, seeing the variants of violins and cellos, pianos, harpsichords, celestas, and a particular highlight for me was being able to walk through an exhibition that they put on where you effectively walk through the inside of a swell box in an organ, and you get to see the mechanisms inside and how the pipes work and so forth, and the mechanics behind the actual invention itself. And so for me it was, although I say it with some bias, it was an incredibly fascinating 4 or 5 hours out on a Saturday afternoon. I'm not sure other people would be able to dedicate as much time or interest without some kind of background musical knowledge, but for me it was intriguing nonetheless. Continuing on the musical theme, I decided to go on a grand expedition to Hamburg to visit the hometown of composer Johannes Brahms. The trek from Berlin was rather gargantuan. It was a total of 8 hours by train, there and back, and I also managed to end up getting myself lost on the way there by getting off a couple of stations too early and having to fluff my German in front of a few police officers to work out how to get on the right train to proceed to the Hamburg city centre. But I managed to get there eventually, which is the main thing. The city itself was lovely, but to be honest, it was nothing like what Brahms would have seen back in his day. The place has been completely rebuilt and remodernised, and although this is a shame to some extent, I can understand, given its turbulent history over the last couple of centuries, why that is. But that wasn't really the main reason I wanted to go and visit. I wanted to catch up with a friend of mine who was an Erasmus student at the University of Surrey last year. And it was also a very good chance to have a little walk around the city and to see a couple of things. A personal highlight was the construction of the Elbphilharmonie Hall, which is a grand modern concert hall which is being built on the riverfront. And it's not complete yet, but when it is finished, the inside will resemble something similar to that of the inside of a seashell, which will have some kind of positive acoustic effect. But otherwise, yeah, it was a very pleasant city to walk around, and to be honest, I felt like I didn't have enough time there, and I would very gladly, if I can find a spare weekend, pop back for a day and have a better look around. But yeah, in all, it was a very interesting and a very nice day out. Finally, on a lighter note, I decided to check out some of the local sports happening here in Berlin, and since the local football team isn't particularly good, the other English internees and myself all agreed to go and watch an ice hockey game at the O2 World, which is near the Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg area. And we went to watch the local team, the Ice Bears, take on the Scorpions from Hanover. And it was very good fun, actually. It was a very good atmosphere being part of the standing crowd. and it was much easier to follow an ice hockey game when you're actually there in the stadium watching the events happening in front of you, as opposed to what I experienced last year trying to watch from a TV screen in Brno city centre. But yeah, in all, it was a good evening out, and the Ice Bears won 4-2, which means that all is well in the world, apparently. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there for this week. I haven't got plans for my Easter yet. I need to find some inspiration. I was hoping to go to the Czech Republic, but that might be delayed a little bit, I don't know. So I'm just going to sort of wait and see what takes my fancy. But yeah, I hope all's well back at home. I look forward to reading messages soon, and I'll try and get back to them ASAP. And yeah, take care and have a nice couple of weeks. Bye-bye.